Always getting it in, your man DJ Ekin, Tampa's most connected DJ. MyPlace, man, kind of a little different thing for me right now, man. I ain't had a chance to interview like a comedian. It's been quite a while, man. So kind of glad you're here. The man, Gary Owen,
you started with the best.
I started with the best?
It's kind of like interviewing a ball player. You got LeBron.
I got...
Yep. Your next guy, I don't know who he's going to be. Could be Delonte West.
Hold up. So you gonna just already start right there?
What?
Let me ask you a question, seriously. How did you decide that comedy was going to be your thing?
It's not about me. Jesus decided for me. So I just give all praise to Allah. Wait, no, that didn't make any sense. And I'm an atheist. Weird.
Wow. I don't know how much everybody knows about you, but like my first real like inkling of knowing Gary Owen was the whole BET thing. How did you, because from listening to your comedy, you're like, white guy lives in a trailer park, does comedy. How did you get to BET?
I was in San Diego and I was listening to the radio and they said we're looking for the funniest black comedian in San Diego. So I entered. It was a radio call-in, so I just called in. I didn't say I wasn't black. I didn't say I was black. I just called in. So I got on the show and I won it. And first prize was like $40, a gift certificate to Burger King or something. And then it was an audition for Comic View. No, it wasn't a BET show. It was audition for Comic View.
Okay.
And then I got the audition for Comic View. And then I got on BET and I was Comic of the Year as soon as I got on there. Because people don't remember, Comic View used to be a contest. Right. And then I won it. Then they stopped making it a contest.
Right.
So then it just became a comedy show.
Right.
So I guess at one point I was the Comic of the Year on BET. So I guess I was the funniest black guy in the world.
So, and seriously, do you ever feel like it's a fine line between where you go with your comedy with the whole? Because this is a lot of black and white in your routine.
Right. I know how far not to go. Just ask Dr. Laura, John Mayer, Dog the Bounty Hunter, Michael Richards. I know how far to go without going too far. And we all know how far that is.
And how far is that?
I can't say. Not allowed.
You go right there?
Yep. I go right there and I stop. I put that envelope right there, but I ain't pushing it off. I'm not an idiot.
Right.
White people, stop saying it.
So a lot of your comedy is based on like what, real experiences that you go through in your life? Like
I just be talking half the time.
Right.
You know? And
it just kind of...
It happens. Like I don't think I've ever written a joke down. It just kind of just comes out. I always think if it's funny enough, I'll remember it enough to remember it twice.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I got my guys, my boys I hang out with, and they'll be like, hey man, you ain't done that joke in a while, or you should do what we talked about in the car. That was funny. Stuff like that.
Right.
So
I just heard that you used to be in the military. How was that? How was that? Were you wanting to get out and do comedy, or were you did you have a good time in the military?
I did. It was easy because they tell you what to do. Fold your underwear like this. All right. I don't know how people cannot do it. I'm like, they just told us how to do it.
Right.
There's no abstract thinking.
Okay, but you were in the Navy, right?
Navy.
Now, I hear the story is the Navy, you out on that boat for 6 months.
I never went on a boat like that. I was in the Honor Guard for 2 years in D.C., where I spun the rifles and marched in parades, because I was in boot camp, and they said everyone over 6 foot with a 34-inch waist come down and we get interviewed. If you ain't got a police record, and I didn't even have a driver's license, I was 17, so I didn't have nothing. I wasn't even on the grid. I was like Jason Bourne back then. So I got to the Honor Guard, and then I went to the police academy as a cop.
Right.
And then I got stationed in San Diego, but I was always on shore duty. So when I got to San Diego, I was like bored. Like it's like growing up, I wanted to be a stand-up, but I didn't know how you did it. Like, how do you become a stand-up? I didn't know.
Right.
Then I started looking up, I got in a phone book.
Right.
I started looking up stuff, and the first place I ever called was a place called the Comic Castle. And I called them, I said, do you have open mic? And they go, who's that? It was a comic book store. I thought it was like a comedy club. The dude was really looking up open mic, like he was in the Hall of Justice or something. And then, so then he goes, nah, man, you got to call this number. And he gave me the number to the comedy store.
Right.
Took off from there.
Let me ask you something else, too, because you got the whole interracial thing going. Do you see your son growing up one day to be Barack Obama?
No.
No?
No. He's more like Jason Kidd. Yeah, I see Jason Kidd.
You see sports?
Me, I don't know what he's going to be, man. I don't know. As long as he's cool,
right.
I don't care what he does.
Do you talk to him about being a comic?
No. Actually, my daughter's the more outgoing personality.
Right.
So if anybody was going to be in the entertainment business, it'll be her. It won't be him.
Right.
It'll be her. Yeah. But not like Montana Fishburne entertainment. It's more like, more like, Haley Duff or something, or Jordan Sparks or something like that.
Let's back up a little bit with Montana Fishburne. Would you want to talk to Brian Pumper? Like, because, some kind of way she got in touch with Brian Pumper. He made this...
I read there was an article, I read how it all went down. She was at a party.
Right.
The dude, her boyfriend, isn't Brian Pumper. It's the guy that's in the movie she released, supposedly.
Okay.
That was her boyfriend. He's the one that wanted to do the adult film stuff, and he introduced her to Brian Pumper, and then it kind of went off from there. I don't know enough about Brian Pumper, honestly. I don't watch porn for the guys.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
All guys watch a little bit of porn.
Okay.
I mean, I just go to the scene so I can.
You don't want to know the story.
I don't want.
I
just want to finish. So, literally, I'm not ever gonna pay for porn.
Right.
I get the free stuff, and it's easier that way. It doesn't take as long, and they cut right through. It's like Cliff Notes.
Right. What else?
It's like,
doing?
Hey, bing, bong, ding, done.
What else are you doing now? And I heard you, Tyler Perry. I heard you working with Tyler Perry now.
Yeah, I've been working with him for a couple years. House of Pain.
I never seen you on it.
Yeah, well, you got to watch every week, I guess.
You know
I'm the only white guy on the show.
But you know what it is, though?
I'm in a barbershop.
I should be able to, because that show is on like Tyler like owns that channel, doesn't he?
TBS.
Yeah.
He's doing well. He's doing well. I'm not gonna speak on it, but he's doing well.
So how do you ever get to talk to Tyler?
Mm-hmm. I mean, he directs the episodes.
Okay, and what do you? I know you said something about when Tyler comes around, you follow everything's going kind of like.
That's a joke.
So you don't.
Yeah, no, it's cool. He's my boss.
Anything that they're doing, like say if they ever got a thing on it and it's like a scene of what they think a white person. You ever give like any
input?
Insight? Yeah.
Yeah, I do, and that's the cool thing about it. But it's like it's a chain of command though. You don't like if you have a suggestion, you don't go to Tyler with it because he's the top. Right. You go to the producer and then the writer and then eventually. But Tyler is the end all. Right. He's the end all. So. It's weird though. Like we were cool, and then I got hired. Then he became a boss. So the dynamics of the relationship changed. You know what I mean? Which, as it should. You can't be your boy and all that. It's not like we were boys, but we're casual. Like, hey, what's up, Tyler? Right. Hey, Gary. You know, and then when you're hired, then it was like, oh, okay, we're not. I'm not gonna. I kind of keep my distance after that. I was like, I ain't trying to get fired. You know what I mean?
What else you doing, man? Any more movies coming up?
I just finished one with Eddie Griffin called Hillbilly Highway, but they're gonna change the title. Right. That's not going to be the name when it comes out because it's like it's a black redneck movie and it's a lot of pot in it, and that doesn't say that in the title. Gotcha. You can't market it to black people saying Hillbilly Highway, and pot people aren't going to know it's about pot if it's called Hillbilly Highway. So they're going to change the title. Who knows what they're going to change it to?
What else you got? You writing? You doing any writing or anything special?
Yeah.
You seem like you're always busy into some different stuff.
I've been blessed. That's what black people say. It's a blessing. White people always say, it's amazing. I have an amazing cast and an amazing director. Black people be like, I'm just so blessed. So it's weird, and I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know what they say, but I don't speak Spanish.
Yo, if anybody's having a bad day, and I'm gonna tell anybody that ever wants to do a show, if they can get you to sit down, if they was having a bad day, you would definitely like.
I am. I'm probably the best.
Really?
Yeah.